it's me, and today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 Nickelodeon shows. Now these are shows that I personally loved to watch on Nickelodeon as a kid, and I'm going to tell you guys why I loved watching these shows, and I think some of these are mentioned in my top 10 TV shows video, which I'll have a link to down below, or top 10 show. Yeah, these are top shows that I personally liked as a kid while watching Nickelodeon. I just love these shows so much. They're so funny. And if you guys don't like any of these shows, then that's okay. I personally just love them. And I think some of these are mentioned in my top 10 TV shows, and if you guys are interested in that video, I will link those down below. So I'm going to get started. So number one on my list would have to be the Fairly Odd Parents. The reason why I like the Fairly Odd Parents is because you got a 10-year-old boy whose parents are not very bright, and they leave him with an evil babysitter who treats him badly, and he's assigned these fairy godparents who hang out with him and take care of him because him more than his actual parents do. And the one fairy, you got one fairy who's smart, and then one fairy who's not very bright, which is pretty funny. Funny, like they always put Timmy always gets in these situations and they always have to get him out, and then they always like dress up like talking objects and stuff, which is really cool. Like they'll disguise themselves as rabbits, squirrels, or whatever, or they can think of, or pencils, or backpack, and pillow and blanket and kids or something. It's pretty funny. And Timmy always wishes for these certain situations, and then his wishes go wrong later on and they try to fix it. Number two on my list would have to be SpongeBob SquarePants. The reason I like SpongeBob SquarePants is because in this show you have a sponge, an underwater sea sponge who hangs out with his friends, a squirrel named Sandy who wears an air helmet because she moved underwater. I don't even know why she moved underwater when she's an on-land creature. On-land creature, not online. I didn't say online, I said on land. It sounded like I said online, I said on-land creature who needs air. I don't even get why she moved to Bikini Bottom, even though she's a creature who breathes air. And you got his friend Patrick, who's not very smart at all. And then you got Squidward, who's kind of like a show-off, who thinks he's who is kind of full of himself and thinks of himself as a very talented character when he's not that good at doing anything at all. And then you got the boss, Mr. Krabs, who is completely greedy. And then you got Plankton, the undersea bug, like whatever he is, and he tries to steal Mr. Krabs' formula but fails to all the time. Number three on my list would have to be iCarly. The reason I like iCarly because this one involves a teenage girl having her own web show with her two best friends and living with her brother who's an artist because her dad is in the military and nobody knows where her mom is. And this is a pretty funny show because they do like such weird things. Like they make a scene where you drink spaghetti and meatballs, and they dress up like a dog as a pig, and they also like have Sam's remote that makes random noises, and they also play pranks on teachers and film weirdos around the neighborhood, which is pretty funny. And then number four on my list would have to be Drake and Josh. And this I think is kind of a spin-off of the Amanda Show. I don't know. The reason why I love Drake and Josh, because you got two stepbrothers who are... There's one doesn't like the other one, but the other one just loves the other one. And they both work together and realize that they make a great team. And then even though they're kind of immature, it is pretty funny. Funny because they get themselves into certain situations and they try everything to get them out. Number five would have to be the Amanda Show. Now this is you're probably going to think this is kind of weird because I don't like Amanda Bynes anymore. But I do still kind of like the Amanda Show. I actually do find it pretty funny. And if you guys are interested in my top 10 Amanda Show skits, I will link that down below. So the reason I love the Amanda Show is because I loved all her skits as a kid. I'm not going to name them all because that's going to make this video way too long. But I loved all the skits. She was so funny, and so were her friends. So was Drake and Josh, her co-stars, and Nancy Sullivan, who also appeared in the show. And I can't remember the other guy who also guest starred in the show. Number 6 on my list would have to be Zoe 101. I like Zoe 101 because in this show you have girls who invade an all-boys private school because this is the first year they're letting girls in the school, and it's pretty funny because it was an all-boys private school. Not private school, I mean boarding school. That's what I'm trying to say. Boarding school. It's a school where you go to. I said private school when I meant to say boarding school. Sorry, tongue twisted it. Sorry, brain mix up. Yeah, so they go to a boarding school that's actually an all boys, and this is the first year the boarding school is letting girls in. And they kind of make a little shenanigans around the place, and they cause issues with some boys, and then they fix the problems with all the boys, and it's a pretty cool show. I used to watch it going through chemo. Number 7 on my list would have to be Unfabulous. I like Unfabulous because this one involves a teenager who's not perfect, and she writes songs about things that go on in her life and the life lessons she learns. And the way she messes things up and then causes trouble for everybody. Number 8 would have to be Rocko's Modern Life. The reason I like this one is because you got a wallaby and a cow and a turtle who are all best friends. The wallaby works as a comic book store, and his friend lives with wolves who are his adoptive parents who are supposed to eat them, and his other friend is a turtle, and they all get into these little shenanigans, they cause trouble with a bully, or they get into trouble with trouble with people who do shows, or people who or their neighbors, or they cause problems with their neighbors all the time, which is pretty funny. Number 9 on my list would have to be Cat Dog. The reason I like Cat Dog is because you got a dog and a cat connected together, which is pretty cool. Because usually if you saw a cat and a cat would be chasing a dog probably. Well, depending on the dog, if it's trained or not. And you got a cat and a dog connected together, and they also get into a bunch of shenanigans together too. The dog will talk them into doing something, and then they'll get mad at each other where they won't talk to each other, and they also get into trouble with a group of bikers and stuff. It's funny. Number 10 on my list would have to be Danny Phantom. I like this one because you got a boy who is a half boy and half ghost. Because of an accident that happened with a machine that was created by his parents. And the theme song in that show is pretty catchy, and I like this show because it's just as funny as The Fairly Odd Parents. Even though it's somewhat action, it's pretty much more of a comedy show. And this was created by the same person who did The Fairly Odd Parents, so it's just as funny as The Fairly Odd Parents. Okay, so those are my top 10 Nickelodeon shows. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!